Chris.
I'm Adrian.
And I'm Jimmy.
Welcome back to Worldview Finder, episode 57. Heinz 57 Varieties. That's what this podcast is. All kinds of varieties.
It's the catch-up episode since we've been gone.
Oh.
Ooh.
I thought Heinz 57 was a steak sauce.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, because Heinz 57?
Nope.
Started out as a steak sauce.
Is that like roots?
I don't know.
Is that like
The
roots?
history of Heinz
slowly
here.
transformed into ketchup.
This is a condiment history podcast. History of ketchup and Heinz 57.
We should start a side project.
podcast where
Yeah.
we
Can't
just
even
talk
make
about
it to this one on
condiments.
time. We've been off for 2 weeks. Adrian was at the Olympic Games competing. And so we're going to talk about the Olympic event you won't believe is real.
And it is real.
We're talking about Jesus at the
And
Olympics.
it's not breakdancing. So
It's not
if you
breakdancing.
think we're going to say that, you're wrong.
It's not. It's something way crazier that makes breakdancing look like it was normal.
Yes. The Australian lady was normal. We're going to talk about Jesus at the Olympics. He was there. He showed up.
Good for him.
He did. In more than one way, I feel like.
He won all the swimming events. He just,
He just ran across.
Just kidding. That didn't happen. All right.
That's cheating.
What you should never order at McDonald's or Starbucks. It's our Florida foible. And then, why do adults need imaginary friends? Adrian,
Why do they?
Yeah. So no, if this is your first time, thanks for joining us. We talk about worldview and the things that go on with our media and the world around us and all that stuff. And so we just want to help you to have a biblical or Christ-centered perspective on the kind of things we look at and take in, and everything pushes a worldview. And so we want to help kind of dive into some of that stuff. So we don't want you to ever just listen or watch things blindly, but to be thinking about the messages behind them and all that stuff. And we want to unpack some of that. So you watched If.
I did. I watched If.
Starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Or Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
He's the main guy, but it's John Krasinski. He's in it as well.
Wow.
It's animated if nobody's heard of this.
It's not animated.
If isn't?
No.
No, Chris. If you've not seen it, obviously.
Why don't you let me
Is it
tell,
live action?
since this is my segment.
Is it live action?
It is live action.
See, I know things.
Sassy Adrian's back. She was back there last time. All right. Okay, please do tell.
Okay, so it is live action, but it involves imaginary animals, which are animated, I will say. Or they're realistic looking, but it's like a crazy monster or something.
Yeah, the preview for it is these animated monster things.
Live action.
Well, it's real people that interact with them
They're real
in
people,
real life.
Chris.
Yes, okay.
They're crazy things. So that's actually really fun. I would say the movie overall is pretty good, but it's adult themed a little bit. It's one of those that's like, I would say my main criticism of it would be it doesn't know if it's a kid's movie or an adult movie.
Yeah.
There are some swears.
In a children's movie.
I've heard that they use the Lord's name in vain quite a bit in that movie.
And the F-bomb.
That's what if.
There was no F-bombs.
That's what the F stands for.
They say if bombs.
Yeah. But it is about a girl who is experiencing some trauma due to her parents being in the hospital. And so she forms this relationship with the guy, this man upstairs in her apartment building, because she sees this like crazy creature go into his apartment. And so
you were talking about the Lord.
the man upstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's some symbolism there. So, and it's Ryan Reynolds. So, and she's like 12. So they form this he's like real cynical and stuff against life. And she's like she is as well, but she's kind of sees his cynicism and wants to help him.
Yeah.
And so then she wants to help him with, he places imaginary animals that have been forgotten. So it's like whenever somebody grows up and forgets who their imaginary animal is, then they get assigned to him and he like places them with somebody else. Like, but it's not working.
Bing Bong's still alive?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I was like, if Bing Bong is not in this community, then I'm going to revolt.
Gone, but not forgotten.
Was Bing Bong in it?
No, because it's not a Disney movie. If it was a Disney movie, he would have been in there.
For sure.
Not Fall Guys, the other guy or whatever, that wasn't Disney. They had a lot of Disney stuff in it.
Oh.
Was Bing Bong in that one?
No, it was another Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah.
Man, he's
was
in
it the other
everything.
guy? Was that it? It was like the
Oh yeah, yeah.
The other guy.
not the other guys starring Will Ferrell and
Anyway,
Mark Wahlberg. But okay,
so-
keep going.
So the worldview though is a couple. There's a few, but her like kind of realizing that childhood innocence and silliness and fun is an important part of life. And then
Which me and Jimmy tried to do on here, and you shut us down.
He's like, stop it. Guys, I'm trying to get a word in edgewise.
Sorry. Okay, keep going.
and so then
Sorry.
excuse
For all
you.
your listeners.
Oh, wow.
Chris
Take a
just-
drink.
That was like a mega chug.
Sorry.
So anyway, she helps. You guys are the worst.
I didn't say anything.
This is just Chris.
Okay.
What's the worldview?
Okay, so they start pairing imaginary animals back with their original adults.
Oh.
And the adults need them basically. So I would say the worldview is just like we all need I would see it as like a childlike, if you want to go take a biblical worldview, like a childlike faith.
Because that's what the podcast about. Yeah,
Right.
childlike faith.
And so they were kind of promoting that of like it's okay to reconnect with your childhood and silliness and just kind of relaxing in life and kind of embracing this childlike wonder. And so I did really like that part of it. And so I thought, yeah, like the childlike faith and everything.
So did you have an imaginary friend growing up? Either one of you?
No.
You didn't?
No.
That's because you were watching YouTube. That's what happens.
That's true.
Listen
You
up, parents. That's what happens.
You didn't need fake friends.
Digital native. Mr. Beast was my imaginary friend.
Yeah.
In some hot water
That's
right
why
now.
boredom. Your kids need to be bored, so they'll make up things like that. Anyway,
Bore your children.
I guess I was doubly bored because I had two.
You had two?
I had a girl named Diane. That's my middle name.
Princess
So
Diana.
I guess that's
Spoiler
just what
alert.
was in my head. And then I had a 1-inch tall penguin named Waddle, who I just
think I
remember
remember
would
Waddle.
like run alongside the bus. He would miss the bus sometimes, but I wouldn't. So I'd have to I would open the
Waddle.
bus window and
Oh my
let him
goodness.
hop in, or he would fall off my desk at school, and so I'd have to drop my pencil so I could reach down and pick
So
him
you were
up.
committed.
I was very committed. Yeah.
Is that typical for imaginary friends? Like it's like a part of your life and everything you're thinking through these scenarios of what this imaginary friend would be a part of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think? Well,
you think
Chris,
you need
did you have
therapy?
one?
So mine was Uncle George. I thought I was Otis. We had to ask my mom.
Uncle George.
I can't remember.
Do you have any uncles?
Not named George.
Yeah, anymore.
Did you like your uncle so much that you needed an imaginary one?
No, I don't remember. I think there was maybe a guy at church or something that was like a friendly guy named George, and I wanted to be my uncle. I don't know.
You wanted him to, sir, will you be my uncle?
Since you won't, I'll
Please,
just make
sir.
an imaginary world where
you
you
be
are
my
my
uncle?
uncle.
I like you so much. I want you to be my uncle always. But no,
That's really creepy.
no, I don't really remember interacting with Uncle George very often. I guess he was around. I don't know.
He's one of those long distance uncles.
I'd be in my room yelling, "Uncle won't buy me a toy." Like what? Imaginary friends supposed to be-
This is a whole
You
character
were
here.
weird children.
Okay, so my son doesn't have an imaginary friend. He has an imaginary world
Oh, yes.
that he lives in.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, so he still does his imagining stuff.
Yeah.
The imaginary world isn't as prominent as it used to be, but he would be like, "You're not my real father." And he would say that in public.
You're not
around-
Uncle George.
Yeah, he's like, my real father is Root, and he fell off an island and was drowned, but he might come back someday. We never found him or something. And he lived.
Oh my goodness.
He lived in the land of Dardesis, the island of Dardesis.
Yeah.
And his name was Root. Shepard's real name was Root. He's like, my real name is Root.
Root
From the
Jr.
From the island of Dardesis. And Yeah, his name was Paradise, and then his dad's name was Root. He's like my real father. Because even in church, I'd be like, "Hey, Shepherd, you come over here." It's like, "You're not my father." I'm like, yeah, what?
What? Who is this kid? I mean, he's mine, but
yeah, he's like, "I don't know you." All this stuff.
I respect the world building though. It's like
Well, I mean,
it's got lore and everything.
Oh, there's a lot more to it. Yeah, there's like all this stuff and what's on the island and all that. Yeah, it's an imaginary like world that he has created and stuff. But
that's awesome.
It's great. Yeah, and he'll do this like he like does this thing where he's like makes noises and stuff. He's like, "I'm imagining," and we're like, "Where are you at?" And he's like, "I just rescued this person and I grabbed this key and now I'm running out of the time." It's like, "Oh, you like really are." And he'll be like, it's time for bed. He's like, "I'm in a really good part. Can I finish this?" And like, "You're always in a really good part when it's bedtime." He's like,
"Oh my goodness!"
But I just got the key. He's like, "Oh."
So do you think there's like a transition? Like, what happens when we transition from having that kind of imagination to adulthood? Do you think there's like a specific time where like over time things happen, or what causes that transition?
Why you stop imagining?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. So I mean, my imaginary friend, I don't remember much, but I had stuffed animals that I would like in my bed would have like mountains with blankets and pillows, and like there's good guys and bad guys. I had tons of stuffed animals, and so they would go on adventures and all that stuff, and I mean, kind of like action figure type things, stuff like that. But I remember, because I was still like in middle school, and I think Mom was like, "Yeah, me and your dad were a little worried about you." I was like, "Oh, thanks."
You still play with your stuffed animals.
Yeah, I still do, Mom and Dad. Take that.
Well, according to this movie, you should. You know, you should still play with those stuffed animals.
Take that. Dad, ruined my child. No, they never said anything until after I was done. They're like, "Oh, yeah."
You're like, "Oh, good. Glad that was over."
Because you're a weirdo, son. But
it's true, because I think when you go out into the real world, if you kind of live in that imaginary world, it does get a little weird.
So did you ever do that?
I was thinking, and I can't...
Imagination stuff?
I don't remember a time when I've ever used my imagination.
Well, I feel like that's weird because you're in a creative role.
Yeah.
So how do you, like...
You already said he just copies other people's
I just
stuff.
copy other people. That's how I use creativity.
So you feel like you know how to manipulate creativity
Probably.
instead of actually being creative.
Yeah.
That's how I am. I mean, honestly, that's...
See, there you go. You don't need your imagination.
See, and I think like authors get that. Like that's why I want to write more, because it's there's that part of me that's like world building and stories and things like that, and that's part of why I like D&D, because a lot of it's just imagining things. You're like coming up with scenarios and different things, and you're like, oh, what if this happened? And what if this happened? And so you're just kind of, and so maybe that's why D&D is making a bigger resurgence, because it's becoming more popular and mainstream now.
It's because of Stranger Things. It's not because of what people want.
No, but I'm saying, but it taps into, because why is it? It's because I think there's this imagination part of you that we do close off and we do turn off, and we're like, well, I can't do that because I'm a grown butt man, and so like we have to like not do that stuff. And so, but yeah, so I think D&D maybe taps into some of that like creativity and imagination and storytelling that. Again, I think it comes from our Creator, because God is a storyteller. Like He puts that within us, and that, like the Bible is this ultimate story of like sacrifice and redemption and all that stuff of God's people. And so I think that story is within us, and we want to tell those stories. But yeah, when you get to be an adult, you're like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, it seems like for a while, or like that's how our society is like you have to be. It's like you need to be an adult, but what does that really entail? Like, is creativity or imagination or just having fun and being silly, like why are those considered childlike things and you have to grow up?
Yeah, and because party games, I think, get at that sometimes because a lot of party games now are like you have to make up things and tell a story, or like there's cards you have to match, like to. Like, oh, I have to be creative and make this phrase funny with the phrases that I have in my hand or whatever, those type of things. But then you have like the adult spin on it, and that I don't like that because it makes it like, oh, now it's going to be dirty, and it's like I mean, even like at Target and Walmart, like there's like a whole like adult games section, because you're like looking at all these games and it's like, oh, it's this game. But now it's 18 plus. And I'm like, no, this game's actually really fun and funny. Like you don't have to add Like,
Sorry, I just had one pop in my head. It was terrible because I was just thinking of like party games, and the first one that came in my head was Twister. I'm like, I don't want to
that's
see
always been an adult party.
an 18 plus Twister. It was weird.
Although I did see a new version of Twister where it's just your fingers.
Really?
Oh, it's like a table game.
It was in the Highlights magazine. Yeah, so there's like different colors, and you roll 2 dice, and one's what digit it is, and
Now I'm like, we all look like we have claws.
It's concerning.
That's my claw voice.
If you had a claw, that's what you would sound like. That makes sense.
I can't function. So, yeah. All right. Anything else on if? So, have imaginary friends. Have imagination.
Yeah. You don't have to have an imaginary friend, but
Imagination. There's a SpongeBob
just
reference.
I hope Jimmy starts having an imaginary friend. That'd be fantastic.
Yes, that would be next week. Introduce him to us.
Yep. Why do you assume it's a him?
I don't know.
Could be a penguin.
It could be so many things.
But yeah, because imaginary friends, because Bing Bong was that in the Inside Out movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like imaginary friends to me are always like real people.
I got Uncle George, Cousin Kevin. These are all my imaginary friends.
And Waddles, the 1-inch penguin. Like,
Yeah, like
that. Like
when they're
that's
all
cool.
in one
Like,
place and you see what everyone's imaginary friend was, or like, all them all grouped together, they're really funny. And then there's a joke with one that's invisible, and somebody trips over him all the time, and they're like, Kevin, like, why are you on the floor again? And he's like, who would ever make an imaginary friend that's invisible? That doesn't make sense. So it's a funny movie, but it's like, I would actually only recommend it for adults or like teens and up. I wouldn't say like.
It'd be for kids. Did your kids watch it with you?
Yeah. Well, Ari doesn't. She's 2, and she just like
She swears all the time now.
Yeah. She tinkers around while we watch
With
stuff.
the swearing.
But with If, we like, Amos really, really liked it, but he just loved seeing all the versions of imaginary animals. He didn't really understand at all what was going on.
So what kind of words do they use in the movie?
You want me to just name?
Now we know where Ari gets it from. Her mother.
Yes, there you go.
All right. It's time for Heart of Foibles. All right. This is what not to order at Starbucks or McDonald's. So this guy, I'm not even going to say his name because I'll be considered racist. But he has 4 names.
You totally butchered it when we started.
Yeah, I did.
No,
You can read it if you want.
you have to read that.
I'm not. All right.
Chris is getting canceled.
Hashim Yaunis Hashim Hanahan. So
What is it, Lord of the Rings, Elvish? Are you speaking over here?
Oh, that's what's racist.
yeah. So he went around to some Starbucks on June 25th and a McDonald's.
And McDonald's, okay.
And he left a letter with them at each location. And so I don't know if he's ordering this or whatever, but here's what the letter said. That he would explode everything here in whole America.
And whole America?
WHOLE. Like he's going to blow up whole America.
I'm gonna explode this Starbucks and America.
There's not too much more American than Starbucks and McDonald's.
That's true.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So he's got a good start. And there's a lot of those. So good luck to
corner.
you. He's in jail, so it might take him a while. But he did do some damage in a solar power generation facility. I don't know why he did that. But yeah, so I guess he just went and just left him a note and walked out. I don't know.
Do you think this was do you think he got a bad order at one of these places and that's why he did it?
Maybe they got his name wrong on a Starbucks cup. It's 2 Hashims. I said 2. I could see him being mad about that.
So he was going to explode that in whole America. So
I'm going to explode.
So did he order anything?
No,
I think he just left a note. He
just
said I'm
left
going to
a note.
explode it.
Why?
And I can see McDonald's. I've been in McDonald's where they somebody's yelled at the employees there.
Yeah.
You don't take any pride in your work. You didn't make these apple pies hot. These are cold. Okay, man, we can make you another one. You don't take pride in your work. He's yelling at him. He's like, I'm trying to fix this situation. I can make you a new one or you can eat the cold one. And she's like, He's like, but it'll be like 10 or 15 minutes. And she's like yelling at him.
People are crazy.
So he shot her.
Lady, if you want quality apple pie, you should not be going to McDonald's. Actually, those are pretty good. Let's be real.
I know they are. And McDonald's is bringing back cups.
Cups, wow.
You can't drink anything at McDonald's right now?
Glass cups.
Okay, you probably should have.
Oh, the glasses. The
Glasses. That's what I should have said.
collector's glasses.
The collector's glasses of past McDonald's Happy Meal toys.
Oh my goodness. I saw the Beanie Baby one. There is a Beanie Baby specific collector's glass. I'm going to get my hands on that.
So I had some those glass cups from McDonald's, and we had the Shrek ones, but didn't they recall them because they had lead paint?
What?
That was the thing.
There are Shreks on some of these. So
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't
now
have
with
lead
less
paint.
lead paint. Less. It's not completely lead free. But some of the collectors. So there's a
They're
collector's
like
one
themes of past toys.
of Jurassic Park cups. So there's a glass with cups on it.
I love it. I want to own all of these.
I know. I gotta say, I probably will get some of these. Honestly, they're gonna replace my elf cups, glasses.
Oh yeah.
Do they have lead paint?
Hey, you know, a little lead never hurt anybody.
That's true. I didn't give them back. I still have them.
You still have your.
We
That
have
explains a lot, Jimmy.
we have some Christmas ones from Arby's.
His imaginary friend is just a lead. His
lead
lead
Shrek.
brain. He's like, no, guys, there really is somebody over there. Okay, sorry. You had the Arby's ones?
No, Mom and Dad do. They have the Christmas Arby's ones.
I want us to bring those back.
They're from like 1989 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they're worth something.
Probably.
Sure.
$10. All right. Okay, Olympic events.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you went to the
Too
Olympics.
much. I did not do that.
But no, so we were looking up some Olympic events. The Olympics happened. I didn't watch them.
I didn't watch any of it.
I watched some synchronized swimming, which baffles my mind.
You were very impressed by that.
We watched synchronized diving, which also baffles my mind.
Synchronized diving, okay, like I get, like you can flip and do stuff together, and it is hard to do that intact. But like synchronized swimming, they're underwater for 20 minutes at least. I mean, they hold their breath.
Super impressive.
And the fact that they can like put their legs up in the air while being underwater, and they're not pushing off the ground. Because when I do a handstand in the pool, like I push off the ground, right? You're holding yourself up. You're just treading water upside down with your legs in the air, and then somebody's
at the same time as like 20 other people.
Yeah, and
That's
your legs,
crazy.
like they're kicking and flipping and twirling, and
Kicking and flipping and twirling.
kicking and flipping and twirling. Okay,
Yeah.
So Jimmy, you did a deep dive into the Olympics.
So because one of the features of this Olympics was breakdancing, and that was the first time I had seen breakdancing.
It's the first time the Olympics has ever had it.
Yeah, exactly. So
You've never seen breakdancing besides this?
No, I didn't know what breakdancing was before this.
What?
That was a joke. So no.
It's that lead.
This is that
failed.
lead brain. So breakdancing, but that reminded me there are some weird sports that used to be a part of the Olympics. So I found a list that has a couple of them, and I want to leave the very last one, which is the one that came to my mind that will blow your minds if you've not heard this before. Okay, so along with breakdancing, we had, this is number one, they had solo synchronized swimming.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
Yeah,
But it's not synchronized. So just swim dancing.
I guess
so
so.
it was called solo.
Solo synchronized swimming.
Yeah, it was in the 1984, 1988, and 1992 Olympics. Solo synchronized swimming.
Okay.
It's like single player softball team. Like,
Yeah.
like doing all the things.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Then we had horse long jump and horse high jump.
Oh,
So it's like
But that's more like the horse's ability, not a human.
that's true. But you gotta
you have to
tell
be
the horse what
athletic.
to
You
do.
ever seen a jockey?
Yeah, you've seen
a
a jockey.
different breed of person.
They're 4'5"
They
and
are.
they weigh 85 pounds. But they have plunge for distance. So this is like where it's kind of like you're on a diving board and you just try to jump as far as you can and plunge.
Okay.
That's the
like, I had to
1904
do that
games.
this morning.
We'll skip down here. They had live pigeon shooting. So, they
Not
had,
clay pigeons.
No, they had live pigeon shooting. We're back in Paris in the 1900 Olympics in Paris. They had live pigeon shooting.
1900s.
Yeah.
Why do they have that in the opening ceremonies?
Yeah, they should have paid homage.
1912, they had pistol dueling.
What?
No.
It says it wasn't quite as exciting as it sounds. Participants weren't actually firing at each other. They would, instead, the brave men taking part had to fire at mannequins dressed in frock coats. I don't know what that means. With targets painted on their chests. So you shot mannequins.
Okay.
And live pigeons.
Oh,
and then number 2 here is art. So art actually used to be in the Olympics.
Not like painting or anything, just a guy named Art.
Yes.
He's like, hey, he would like the torch every year.
He's like that guy who has to get swim caps out of the pool.
Hi, it's me, Art.
So Stockholm.
So they would like paint fast?
Yeah. So not fast. 1912 to 1948, medals were awarded for sports-inspired artworks from architecture, literature, music, painting, and sculpting.
So would they have to do that on proper? Like, would you go into a room and they're like, Art start, and then like you would have to
start.
The old art start.
You'd have to do it right there, or could you like bring a painting from home? And be like, I painted this.
I don't know.
Jay,
and
you're our researcher.
The small article does not tell me. Okay, so number 1.
And here it is.
Which I was blown. And it wasn't even on this list. I had to
is.
do additional research for this to confirm
Gosh,
it.
look at this guy.
Weirdest
Loves the
Olympic
podcast.
So
Sports.
1920 to 1948, the Olympic event that I could not believe was actually in there was town planning.
Town planning.
This is better than I ever imagined.
That's what I thought.
You would have competed in this.
I would have.
Yeah, that's what you do for 4 hours.
I've played Sims my whole life.
But yeah, so for 20 years it was in there, and basically what they would do is a lot of it revolved around the Olympics. Like they would plan building new structures for like sports arenas and
For the
recreation.
next Olympics.
Yeah, so they would
That's
do
actually
stuff
really
like that.
smart.
What?
Yeah, and they got gold, silver, and bronze medals for it.
For town planning. I love it.
In 1948, something bad happened that year because they took it out.
Well, is it really considered a sport?
World War II.
So I've been training a long time for town planning.
Yeah.
You're
Like, what kind of physical ability do you need?
You don't have to have physical
Yeah,
ability.
Your mind is.
Yeah, because they always have like
strong.
these like kind of third tier celebrity speakers at I don't even know if third tier is the right word.
Man.
At like
D-list.
D-list,
So-
yeah.
They come to like school assemblies and stuff. Like,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
this guy lost a leg in Vietnam. Like, oh, this guy climbed Mount Everest. Like, they like all these cool things and stuff. And they're like, oh, we have an Olympic gold medalist. And he's like, I played in town. You're like, what? What kind of lame event is town planning?
So, what is something that's not in the Olympics that you feel like should be or would be funny?
Well, is bowling in the Olympics?
Town planning.
Town planning. Let's put it back. Bring town planning back.
Well, because it's supposed to be sports, right? Yeah, no, there's no Olympic bowling.
Why not? It's a sport.
Any sport you can eat nachos in between each turn is a good.
This is
Jim Gaffigan.
this is for Angela Shadow. I'm gonna just
Shout out to you.
shout out to you.
And I know what you're gonna say, and it should be in here.
The Olympic sport, marching band.
Because that's basically synchronized swimming
That's
on
not
land.
a sport.
It is
That's for
synchronized
nerds.
swimming on land. Plus, you are blowing
Instruments.
into an instrument,
It's tough. It is a real
or
sport.
you're carrying
marching
a
band.
drum.
They would call it the Nerd Olympics.
How is that any different from synchronized swimming?
How is it different than that lady like laying on the ground and touching her toes for breakdancing?
Listen, so
Doing
I did
the bunny hop.
again a little research into her. So she actually had a PhD in breakdance theory, which I did not know at all.
And again, why theory doesn't always work.
Yeah, theory and practice are not the same thing.
Yeah.
And as Dave Ramsey would say, she had a PhD in DUMB.
Did she win though? I don't even know if she.
No, I think she got
Of
0
course she
points.
didn't win.
It's like they put their numbers up, and I think she got like 0 points.
Okay.
But she had a PhD. So
Do you know what one of my favorite Olympic
That's
events
so
is though?
funny.
what is that?
Trampolining.
Do they have that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
oh,
mean,
it's a big deal. It was on the Wii.
What? I
on
want to
the
watch.
Wii? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's a big square trampoline,
Or
and
a rectangle.
they are like in the rafters. It is
They go,
insane how high they get in those gymnasiums. Like it is
Whoa.
yeah,
bonkers.
They're
And
smoking.
They're like, and there's like
They do a bunch of spins and
there's-
stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's
So many flips.
insane.
Oh, cool.
But they like get it way up there, and then there's like people on the side to like push them back into the middle. They like if they're like get off in their spins and
Oh,
like
yeah.
So they because I mean you would die. Like I mean they are so high in the air. It's great. I love it. Okay,
Whoa.
so what Olympic event? Yeah, marching band for sure. I mean that's a given.
Is chess in the Olympics?
No,
It's not a sport.
Sport.
That's a
What do you
game.
define as a sport?
But town
marching
planning-
band is a sport?
Yes,
Yes, you
I
are-
got a letter jacket in marching band.
You can get a Letterman jacket in chess.
I got Letterman jacket in bowling, so
Bring back bowling.
bring back bowling marching band. Come on.
I think chess is more of a sport than marching band.
You're running around a football field multiple times back and forth
So I feel. How do you
with
guys
an
feel?
instrument in your hand blowing into it.
How do you guys feel about chess boxing?
I don't know what chess
I don't know
boxing
what that
is.
You know what
is.
chess boxing is?
But it needs to be a sport.
So no, it is a thing. So because there was some YouTubers that had like a chess boxing event as well. But you have a round of boxing, and then you sit down for a round of chess, and you keep going back and forth until someone's either knocked out or they get checkmate.
Oh.
Yeah, chess boxing.
So how long
Bring
is a
it.
round of chess?
Bring it in.
Like
I
3
don't
minute
know.
rounds or whatever. So competitive juggling, I have seen that on like ESPN Trace or whatever it is, and it's where you you're juggling.
What about the hide and seek ones or tag?
Tag. The competitive
Yeah.
juggling is like you're juggling while somebody else is trying to not let you juggle while they're juggling. So you're like there's like several people juggling. And you have teams, and you're like trying to mess the other team up while you're juggling.
Dude, I'd watch that all day.
No, it's pretty great.
That would be so
Not gonna
fun.
lie, competitive juggling. It's a real thing. So yeah.
What about hacky sack?
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure, the California games from the old Nintendo. There's like hacky sack. Surfing? Is surfing a...
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They get those big old waves.
Yeah, I'm for it.
All right, let us
Yeah.
know in the comments what Olympic
What
sport
Olympic sport would you want to see?
you bring in.
Or just an Olympic event. Doesn't have to be a sport. I think we should expand it.
Yeah.
Town planning. I mean,
planning.
bring that back.
Bring back bacon. Oh, yeah, what competitive eating? Would that be...
Oh, this is gross to watch though.
Yeah.
Saw a guy eat like 35 hot dogs in 6 minutes.
Yeah,
that's
and they like
ridiculous.
dip it in water and it's all
yeah?
soggy and weird, and you're like he just horks it down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's a word, but I make it like he's like
I can't even think.
dips in water,
No,
and
no.
it just goes down. It's crazy.
Nope.
All right,
Okay.
now
What else happened at the Olympics?
Jesus showed up at the Olympics.
Jesus Cristo?
Wait, I don't remember. Did we talk about opening ceremonies on here?
No.
We did not.
Yeah, so
We've been
there
gone
was
for 2
some
weeks.
controversy behind that because supposedly they were making fun of the Last Supper painted by Da Vinci, and so sort of or parenting. I don't know, but like whatever. It was offensive to Christians.
Were you offended?
A big stink about it. You know, I don't know. It's a painting based on something, so
I'm not easily offended.
It's a depiction of something else, so it's a depiction of a depiction.
yeah, it's a depiction of Jesus' Last Supper. I don't expect the world to behave in a way that honors Jesus. Like that's just not the world the way
Yeah.
the world's going. Was it in poor taste? I think so. I did like Andy Stanley's response.
He removed his response.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why?
Because he didn't like it anymore. What was his response?
I forget. No, he just said like, "Hey, you don't owe just Christians an apology. You owe the West an apology." Because he talked about, he's like, "Hey, the person that you depicted." He basically said World War II happened because, like, or you guys won World War II because Americans came and gave their life like voluntarily. And he's like, the person that you chose to mock. What he said about love was greater love has no one than this, that a man lays down his life for his friends. And he's like, we did that for you. And so you don't just owe Christians an apology. You owe the
That
West
seems
an
like
apology.
taking it a little too far.
Oh, it was, and he had a picture of Normandy. It was pretty intense.
He took it down.
That's really intense.
Wait, he did take it down?
He did. I was looking for it for a video we were making, but it was gone.
Oh, I've got a picture of it.
No, I know. I used a picture that we had before, but the
Yeah.
post is no longer on Instagram.
Goodness.
So the
Yes.
opening ceremony, but what is...
But there were a lot of outspoken Christians this year, and I think there's always been that, but like this year it seemed like they were highlighted a little bit more. Although our friend Andy said he didn't feel like they were. He's like, this one person.
What, Christians in the Olympics?
Yeah, because they were like press conferences and they showed their stuff, and so one girl in particular, she was from Germany, but she was the shot putist. Is that what you say?
The shootist.
Shot putist. I don't know what you say. She did
the
that there shot put. She
put
threw a heavy
sport.
ball.
Shot pudding person.
Yeah, and won the gold medal. And let's see, her name is, I don't know, Yemisi Agunale.
Here we go. This is the episode of
Yes,
not pronouncing names.
Yeah, so she won gold medal, but so her first attempt she fell because it was raining, so she fell down, went over to the stand, sat down.
But what did Chumbawamba say?
He said, "When you get down, you get up again."
You get knocked down.
You're never gonna
Not
keep
when
me
you
down.
get down.
Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna give you up.
That was
Never
Rick
gonna
Roll.
keep you down. So yeah, but she said. So she went back to her seat and started singing this gospel song because she's in a gospel choir.
Good for her.
And so somebody in the press conference was like, "Oh, what did you do?" And she's like, "Oh, I went and sang this song." And it's like, "What song is it?" She sang for like 35 to 40 seconds, like sang this whole.
Yeah, she's in the press conference and she just starts singing a cappella.
And you think she's gonna stop, and she doesn't.
She keeps it going. But
going.
one of the lines was, "I almost let go. I was right at the edge of breakthrough, but I couldn't see it. The devil really had me, but Jesus came and grabbed me. He held me close, so I wouldn't let go. God's mercy kept me, so I wouldn't let go."
So here's the issue I have with this. So she's in the shot put and she's singing about not letting go, but that's the whole idea of the shot put is you have to let it go.
Let it go.
Maybe
She's talking about letting go of her insecurities of not fall. You're at the Olympic Games and you fall. Throwing the shot put, and you
It's
so
true.
you know it's not going to go good. So yeah, so she's like, Jesus held me close and got me through this, and so she's like, yeah. So I went over, sat, and then she threw 20 meters or something. We won the gold medal.
We can't confirm that.
It says
It's like that's the length of a football field.
yeah. The Olympics. Oh, here's a. The Olympics have gone woke, but God is moving with the athletes as they worship before they compete. You can't stop the move of God. So yeah, so there's like a group of people like singing around a piano and stuff like that. I'm sorry, that was a quote. The Olympics gone woke. I don't.
That's a direct quote.
But yeah, but people are like worshiping together, and there's another person that was like, hey, I know I won this, but really all glory goes to Jesus, and he saved me, and kind of like did a very brief presentation of the gospel. And so it's just interesting to watch as the world is more and more in turmoil, and there are things like the depiction of the Last Supper, and people are like, oh, it wasn't the Last Supper or whatever. I mean, sure looked like it, but there's like all those,
it was.
There's that kind of thing. And then then you have people like just worshiping together, and then and so they're not doing it for show. I think somebody recorded it and put it up there, but you have these people that are actually worshiping the Lord and doing these things. And so it was just interesting to kind of almost see that contrast as the world kind of becomes more and more polarized when it comes to things of Jesus and things like that. Like, I mean, who was the guy a couple of years ago, like at the Grammys? I mean, it was like the whole devil.
Will Smith.
No.
With the shoes that had blood in them.
No.
The old blood shoes.
Las X.
Yeah.
No, it was the guy. He's I don't know who the singer, but
Sam Smith.
He dressed as the devil.
Sam Smith.
Let
us know in the comments.
Like dressed as the devil, and like and Lady Gaga's been doing it, and like but you have all these like depictions of Satan and different things. And
So what you're saying is we should dress up as Jesus.
more so, yeah. No, but it just like the
Even it out.
That's what the Last Supper people were trying to do.
They're dressing up as Jesus. That was actually an homage to Jesus.
But the world's worldview is more like secular and make fun of Christians and do all this stuff. But then you have these groups of people that are like, I dropped the shot put and I went over and just sang a worship song, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. And he that's
what she did.
30 seconds.
Okay, if someone did that after they fell in the shot put, I would make fun of them.
Maybe he went and got alone and worshiped the Lord, and he was like,
started
okay,
singing
and prayed, and like, I can get back to it.
It'd be a little awkward.
Oh man, whatever.
Cancel me.
Jimmy's canceled. You old sad sack. All right. Well, hey, have you guys been watching anything or like anything that you're like, I'm excited about this?
Well, next week I think we should talk about. There's a couple things coming up though, guys.
Yeah.
First, new Zelda game trailer release, which looks awesome.
It was a month ago they released. Adrian just found it. So.
I just found it because I share them with you guys, and you don't share
as
those
Zelda
with me. Yeah, you play as Zelda.
What?
And then, Rings of Power comes out in just a week or so.
Don't know what that is.
We have to get Amazon Prime again. It's the new Lord of the Rings. Does it all drop at once, or is it like weekly?
I think it all drops at once.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I'm maybe halfway through the Acolyte.
Oh, really? You're watching that?
The last episode was fantastic because it was just a giant lightsaber battle for about 25 of 30 minutes.
Wow.
I'm here for it.
We're also watching Only Murders in the Building season 3.
Oh, we want to start that soon, but we got to get through the Acolyte first.
There's lots to watch.
Yeah,
lots coming up.
We just finished Phineas and Ferb.
As you should. That's
what
the
we should
greatest.
discuss is the D23 that just happened.
Oh, we should have talked about that.
I don't know what that is.
Cars 3, not Cars 3. Incredibles 3.
Toy Story 5.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw Incredibles 3.
And it's called, I
Frozen
can't remember
3.
what it's called, but it's about, it's called Screens versus Toys or something like that. And the cover is like a kid under the covers. And you can tell that he's like on a screen or something, and all the toys are like surrounding the bed, like looking at it.
Can't compete.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And then
That'll be a good worldview.
and then the Star Wars Goonies crossover we didn't know we needed.
Wait, what?
It's not really Goonies, but it looks like
Yes.
it looks like it looks like the old 80s movies.
Yes,
like
I love that kind of stuff.
Amberlin Entertainment or whatever. So, yeah, like E.T. type things.
That's weird.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Great for us oldies, us old elder millennials.
People who were in the 80s.
Eat that stuff up.
I was born in this century.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think what it's called.
horrifying.
It's called something.
So there's there's a lot of sequels, a lot of remakes.
Yeah, that's why I think we need to talk about like just what's going on with creativity. They need their imaginary friends.
Skeleton Crew, that's the name of it.
Skeleton Crew. Why didn't you just say that?
Love
I'm
it.
trying to look for it. Okay, but yeah, it's
Yeah, Star Wars Skeleton Crew.
all right.
All right, cool.
Well, hey everybody.
You heard it here last.
That's true.
My name is Chris,
I'm Adrian.
And I'm Jimmy.
and we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us for Worldview Finder episode 57. We hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe.